During an audit, there was a need to pull up some backup records from AODocs specifically. And there was a ticket through the support team, and I think within like 3 hours or something like that, we had the response that we needed for the audit. So really rapid, absolutely no issues there that I've ran into.
Hi, I'm Dennis from AODocs. Today we're here with Arie Henkin of o8t to discuss their use of AODocs in life science. So you're in market now. How is AODocs helping you in that market or get into the market?
We took on AODocs basically from day one. So we went through a process of choosing an EQMS. The main criteria for us was I wanted something that is customizable. I wanted something that is pre-validated, and I wanted something that is user-friendly.
The implementation of AODocs, I'm curious of how that went with you, and even if there's a comparison to another system you may have implemented in the past.
We had a solutions implementation team with a point contact that I could reach out to. They helped us along the way, which is critical for a system of this size, essentially, for the business. When you compare it to some other systems that might be potentially as large, you don't get this level of attention. And so your chances of success, where success might be defined as how many people are using this day in and day out, how many processes are implemented, what value are you getting back, is a lot lower, just because that adoption isn't there.
The post-implementation support, how does that look from an AODocs perspective for you?
So for me, it was very important to make sure that we understand how to build processes in the system, build workflows, customize workflows. You got to go both ways, right? You got to implement new things, and you have to taper things down that are no longer required potentially, depending on what the risk profile is of the organization, how that changes over time. And so we're pretty much self-sustaining from the standpoint of how do you evolve the system.
Privacy and security are top concerns. How has AODocs helped you in that way?
There's two aspects to this. One aspect is in the actual go-to-market process when you're working with hospitals. There are usually security questionnaires that hospitals generate that have many questions around how do you handle data, what do you do with data in transit, how do you safeguard stored data, etc. And so what we've created are a number of views that allow our internal employees that are answering those questionnaires, gives them access to that data a lot more easily. Specific procedures that answer specific questions. And so that makes answering those questionnaires a lot easier than it would be otherwise. The other angle of the security question is there are requirements that we have to comply with that deal with our internal systems and how do we control information that is in those systems. We ensure that we control essentially the drive where all the information gets stored. Permissioning is a big part of that. So making sure that it's the least privilege permissions that are applied across the system. And so we incorporate that by design, essentially, with the help of AODocs' existing controls.
If you were to recommend AODocs, what would be your main reasons?
Probably the same reasons why I chose AODocs in the first place, which is customization. So really the ability to grow the system as you grow, because at the end of the day, they're just waste. They're attention waste and they're time waste. Validation, I think, is critical for startups. So something that comes pre-validated and can be used by everybody basically from day one as soon as it's tested. And then the usability piece, I think, is critical. Just getting people on the system, in a modern system, and working with it.